All right. So we got a great friend, Stephanie, who is going to help us out with finding the slope between the points. And in order to find the slope, we must know the formula for the slope. And so the formula for the slope, Stephanie, is what?
Y equals mx plus b.
Okay, so y equals mx plus b is the slope if you have an equation. I'm looking for the formula that goes between the 2 points. My man, Benjamin back there is going to hook us up. Great question. He said, is it y2 minus y1 or y1 minus y2? The answer is yes. Both. It actually functionally makes no difference. Now, when you see people write this formula for the slope, the way most people write it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But once you realize that the labeling of y1 and y2 are relatively arbitrary anyway, then you just realize that y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2 is exactly the same thing. So it really functionally makes no difference which one you write. The critical part is the two things that you got to pay attention to. Number one is that the y's are on top and the x's are on the bottom. That's what comes up with the whole rise over run thing, right? The number two thing you got to pay attention to is that the ordered pairs have to go together. So whichever ordered pair you use, the x's and y's have to line up on top of each other. Okay? Armed with that piece of information, you would be relatively ready to proceed with the problems. Okay? Now, I am going to get rid of this. Watch this. Somebody just taught me this. That's like my favorite thing now. It's like Panda Express. Now I just love it. All right. So, number one, who's got it? Anybody think they got it? Go ahead.
Like the final answer?
Yeah, just give me the answer.
5.
5? It's 18 minus negative 2 over 12 minus 8. I would say the biggest thing that I see when students mess this up, it's the signs. The signs there, for whatever reason, just tend to mess people up. Negative and negative become positive. This is 20 over 4, which is 5. All right. Who's Julia? Julia. Hi, Julia. Julia, what did you get for the second one? We're going to pause here for station identification. This segment of the class is brought to you by Burger King, where you can have it your way. Let's go back to Stephanie, because Stephanie's a good sport. Hey, Stephanie, what did you get for number 2? I tell you what, I'll take number 2. Wait, no, hold on. We got our usuals, right? We got like Iron Man and Black Widow over here. You can always count on them in a bind.
Is it 1?
What, for the first, second one? No, I don't think it's 1. What'd you get, Benjamin? 10 over 10 over negative 7.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's that. Now he's like, oh, yeah, it's that. So what we got? We got 11 minus 1 over negative 3 minus 4, which is 10 over negative 7, which is negative 10 over 7, which is negative 10 over 7. You can leave it as 10 over negative 7, negative 10 over 7, or negative 10 over 7. This is such a math person way to do it, right? Like math people, this is what we do. We give you 3 answers to make you feel really bad about the fact that you couldn't come up with 1. That is such a math teacher thing. Like, hey, there's 18 answers, and you're like, great, and I have none of them. Lovely. But just keep in mind that the negative sign can be applied either to top, bottom, or out front. It does not matter, no. No, it doesn't matter. All right. Now, you had this, yeah, we made eye contact. I felt something. Did you feel it? I did. I felt something there. Maybe we'll have breakfast at Tiffany's. Who knows? Did you get the third one?
I got -3/4.
For this one? The third one? How did you get -3?
It's -5 minus -2.
No. It's x1, y1, x2, y2. So the y values we're dealing with is this one and this one.
Oh, crap.
So it's -2 minus -2 over -5 minus 6. -2 plus 2 is 0. -5 minus 6 is -11. What is 0 over -11? It is 0. It is 0. All right. Just real quick, because I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the next one. 30 minus 12 over 7 minus 7, which gives you 18 over 0, and what is that? And that is undefined. Okay. Now,
I have a question.
yes, please.
When it's a negative and then it's a minus, like you did -2 minus 2.
Yes, ma'am.
So because it's 2 negatives, you change it to positive.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So the question was, when I do -2 minus whatever this one is, and that one's negative, anytime you get two negatives in a row, that becomes a plus.
The next one comes from.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, please.
I have a question. So that one is 0 because 0 is on top, and then the next one is 0 on bottom. Is that why it's undefined?
Yes. So, I think the major question that generally comes up is, as it relates to these two things, how do you know when the answer is 0 versus how do you know when the answer is undefined? Because situations like this will always be 0, and situations like this will always be undefined. I don't know if in life you know any identical twins, but I had a set of identical twins that played basketball for me, and I never could figure out which one was which. Like, they played for me for 3 years, and at the end of the 3 years, I still didn't know which one was which. All I knew was one of them shot the ball better than the other one did. So I'd put him in the game. After the first shot, I'd be like, "No, go get his ass. I need you in. I don't want that one." And here's the part. I felt like whichever one I said was always wrong. Because every once in a while, I'd throw a name out there. And they'd be like, "No, coach." In students, I think this almost looks like identical twins. Like, you never know which one's which. You're just like, yep, one of them is 0 and one of them's undefined. Which one's which? I don't know. Flip a coin. Here's the way I remember it. I use okay and no. This is the way I do it, and if you can look at it this way, you'll know it. You'll get it right every time for the rest of your life. If 0 is on top, that's okay. You can do that. If 0 is on the bottom, that is no. You cannot do that. Okay? Now, I have boxing fans who go with the okay and knockout method. That's only if you're a boxing fan. Okay? But anyway, I use the okay and the no method. So if 0 is on top, that's okay. You get 0. And if 0 is on the bottom, that's no. You can't do that. But by the way, you can't write no for the answer. I've actually had a student who they got down to like 8 over 0 and they wrote no. That's not the answer.
We mark it wrong, they put no.
Yes. It'll be marked straight wrong. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Okay. Any questions? Going once? Going twice?